Yo, what's poppin'? It's your boy King Steph, and today we're gonna be talking about arguably the most important arc in all of Jujutsu Kaisen, the GoodWill arc. It is the most needed arc, if anything. Hidden inventory is great for lore and character depth. Shibuya is impactful to the entire story and the world of Jujutsu Kaisen as it completely shifts everything on its head. But the Kyoto GoodWill event arc is the most important thing to have amongst all of these, as it sets up everything regarding characters, plot, narrative, direction, power system. It sets up everything that we need to know going forward in the series. So let's go ahead and get up into it. The Kyoto students help flesh out each of the Tokyo students' character motives and direction. Todo teaches Ichidori how to fully control his divergent fist and curse energy to his best potential, including Black Flash. We have a character like Mekamaru, who expresses his frustration with being crippled and not being able to walk around with his fellow sorcerers, and Panda being the recipient of this and wanting to help Mekamaru with that problem. There's Maki and Mai's sibling conflict, with Mai feeling that Maki left her behind in favor of wanting to accomplish her goals and prove the Zenin clan wrong. And with these two conflicts specifically, we also get heavenly restriction reveal for Maki and Mekamaru, and the duality of having a heavenly restriction. Then there's Kamo and Fushiguro, the next in line for the respective clans of the big three families. Kamo, who is trying to save his mother while also being traditional and following orders from those above him, and Megumi, who is doing his own thing and following what he believes is right, yet he is also trying to save his sister Sumiki. And last, there's Nobara and Momo's fight about women in Jujutsu society, appealing to the status quo that they have to live up to, versus being your own person and love yourself no matter what your flaws are. Also, we get the introduction for Mei Mei, a character that is presumed to be neutral because she only follows the bag. She don't really follow, and she's an in-between because she doesn't view herself as being a good or a bad person. So the foreshadowing we get in the GoodWill arc is really dope. I like how it was portrayed. It was put out there, but it wasn't emphasized too much to where it's kind of obvious and it's like spoon feeding. We get character directions and development, and even the next three arcs are pretty much alluded to in this one arc. We got Principal Gaku Ganji, who he follows the orders of the higher ups and is monitoring Yuji. That's his mission right now. Even with Principal Yaga near the end of the GoodWill arc, with the baseball game, we get a little dialogue referencing Geto and how they don't want to lose another student like him, which is a subtle lead into the hidden inventory arc. And then we have the villains, Hanami. The disaster curses having more emotions compared to Maito displaying their strength, Juzo his warehouse, which becomes pretty important later on, Mahito collecting the fingers and the death paintings. And when it comes to the death paintings, that sets up the following arc after the GoodWill arc, and those fingers that he collected become pretty important when it comes to Shibuya. And Sudogeto's plan is first mentioned where he plans to seal Gojo, literally right at the beginning of the GoodWill arc. And for bonus ones, we even see Urame, who is an important character because of who she's connected to. Overall, for this arc, I just honestly enjoyed it when I first watched it through the anime, because I just knew that this arc was very set-up-y, but it was used in honestly one of the better formats it could be used. Something like the GoodWill arc, which is really looked at as like a tournament arc, which even though it kind of isn't, I like it because not only do we get to meet so many different characters, but like I said, the foreshadowing was on point. The fights were on point. Even the exploration of the cursed energy system and how it's not one-dimensional. Because when it first was revealed back when Gojo was teaching Yuji, the cursed energy system was pretty, one note until we see so many of these different techniques, how they're used, how it could be put together. Like all these types of strategies you can use, like Nobara's fight with Momo and how she tried to take her down using the broom or using the broom against her and all that. That too as well. Obviously Megumi, his fight with Kamo, and then even Kamo introduced the first blood manipulation, which that's honestly a top 2 technique in the entire series for me. I absolutely love that technique, and the fact that there's so much that can be drawn from that one arc. It's like I said, the Zenin clan stuff, the possibility of the Kamo no Orochi stuff, which to me, I am still trying to want Gege to at least write some more about me personally, because I just, that clan to me feels like it could be so much dry from that, just from like the past like sorcerer eras in terms of like Kamo no Orochi himself. And then obviously you have the Yuji Todo stuff where we get more in depth on how the divergent fist is actually kind of not at its peak right now. Toto is a phenomenal character, one of the best characters in the series. Just a great character in that moment when he gets that other moment. I can't wait. By the way, if you haven't noticed, I'm trying not to spoil because I wanted to keep this kind of anime friendly, so I didn't really put too many spoilers in there like that, if any at all. The villains in this arc played a good role in the sense that, like, I like how Hanami was kind of used as a contrast compared to Mahito. They're not, in a way, Mahito, obviously, he is pure evil. He's human emotion. He evolves literally by the day. So the more Mahito is alive, the stronger he's going to get and the smarter he gets. So with a person or a curse like Hanami, who is pretty much established, he's not going to get any stronger. Him being very emotional, or she being extremely emotional, having those kind of almost human-like emotions towards plants, the hatred of how humans treat the earth, and something similar obviously with Jogo and Dagon, but that doesn't happen until later. It's really good and it's really played out, and it honestly drew more intrigue as to why the disaster curses not necessarily look up to, or more so they follow Mahito so willingly, considering that Mahito, like I said, he's pure evil. He, in retrospect, shouldn't really care about these curses, but he kind of does. He literally describes them as family. The Maki Mai stuff was absolutely phenomenal. The writing for Mai and Maki and how it wasn't all one-dimensional. Also, that whole narrative of how they use not only the women in Jujutsu society as a role in this, and bringing in the Zanin clan, making Maki and Mai choose different routes of how Mai doubted herself. She knew she wasn't going to be as strong, and Maki wanted to exceed those expectations, wanted to prove people wrong, and Mai feeling like she was left behind because of that. It drew more intrigue because it made you kind of want to root for Mai a little bit, not too much. And what I mean by root, basically, I kind of wanted to see Mai show off what she could possibly do. Now, obviously, she's still not that strong, but it was kind of like a different look in terms of Mai's point of view, especially as the little sibling. Again, another storyline that was intriguing to me, and is still intriguing to this day. And last thing I want to touch on, obviously, was the Black Flash technique. Obviously, I'm gonna say this, but in the anime, absolutely beautiful. I like how they nailed it. Personally, I know some people was kind of like, it was kind of different on the timeline or whatever, but I love the Black Flash. Also, even the lore behind the Black Flash, that Nanami holds the record for the most Black Flashes in consecutive use. Even that, adding more like kind of lore or adding more prestige to the Black Flash is insane. I think that was, even that little touch right there was like, okay, now I care even more about it. But in Toto's backstory, I forgot to mention this, we also are shown Yuki Tsukuma, who is his inspiration for where he got the whole what type of woman do you like, but she's another character that is actually extremely important for the next two popular arcs that's going to come out soon. So yeah, when you see her, just know she's not in the series that much. She's a very mysterious character actually, but pay attention to who she talks to and who she interacts with. Things get a little dicey when it comes to her. It gets a little interesting. And then of course I barely mentioned him at all, but the Gojo Hollow Purple stuff, we obviously see his utter dominance within a matter of seconds. It just gives you more clarification that Gojo is the one to be feared of, and the ultimate trump card to curses and evil sorcerers, which is why someone like Geto wants to take him out so badly. Because with Gojo there, a lot of plans are pretty much done. Nothing's happening if Gojo is on the field. That's just how effective he is. But yeah, that's how I feel about the GoodWill events arc. Let me know in the comment section down below, how do you feel about this arc? I know it's not the most talked about arc because obviously the other two are just so immensely great, especially when they're going to be animated for season 2. Can't wait. But hit me with a like, subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content, and I'll holla at y'all in the next one. Peace.